In this class, we are going to read and understand, to discuss Kumar Sangakkara's speech. The Lahore attack delivered at Colin Cowdrey's lecture program. This live speech is available in the YouTube. I will send you the link. You can watch it later. Make a video me YouTube එකේ තියෙනවා මම link එක එවන්නම් දාන්නම් group එකට මේ එක බලන්න listen කරන්න එකට. Right. Okay, now you have been sent the link. Please read it later, not now. Then බලන්න යන්න එපා. පස්සේ බලන්න. Now our first step is to read the story. Please take the story into your hand. In my previous class, I asked you to read the story before you come into this class. An extract from Colin Cowdrey's lecture, The Lahore Attack, Kumar Sangakkara. First, I am going to read it for you to understand the rhythm of reading, how to read stories with meaningful chunks. The stories කියනකොට එක මේ කියවන rhythm එකක් රටාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ රටාවට කියවුවොත් විතරයි ඔයාලට ඔකේ idea එක ඔලුවට වැටෙන්නේ. නැත්තම් ඔහේ කියවගෙන ගියාට මේකෙන් කිසි දෙයක් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ගිරවා වගේ කියුවට වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒකේ තේරුමක් එන විදියට you have to read. I was fortunate that during my life, I never experienced violence in Sri Lanka firsthand. There have been so many bomb explosions over the years, but I was never in the wrong place at the wrong time. In other parts of the country, though, people were putting their lives in harm's way every day, either in defense of their homeland or just trying to survive the geographical circumstances that made them inhabit a war zone. For them, avoiding bullets, shells, mines, and grenades was imperative for survival. This was an experience that I could not relate to. I had great sympathy and compassion for them, but I had no real experience with which I could draw parallels. That was until we toured in Pakistan in 2009, we set off to play 2 tests in Karachi and Lahore. The first test, played on a featherbed, passed without great incident. The second test was also meandering along with us, piling up a big first innings when we departed for the ground on day 3. Having been asked to leave early instead of waiting for the Pakistan bus, we were anticipating a day of hard toil for the bowlers. At the back of the bus, the fast bowlers were loud in their complaints. I remember Tilan Tushar being particularly vocal, complaining that his back was nearly breaking point. He joked that he wished a bomb would go off so we could all leave Lahore and go back home. Not 30 seconds had passed when we heard what sounded like firecrackers going off. Suddenly a shout came from front. "Get down, they are shooting at the bus." The reaction was immediate. Everyone dived for cover and took shelter on the aisle or behind the seats. With very little space, we were lying on top of each other. Then the bullet started to hit. It was like rain on tin roof. The bus was at standstill, an easy target for the gunmen. As bullets started bursting through the bus, all we could do was stay still and quiet, hoping and praying to avoid death or injury. Suddenly, Mahela, who sits at the back of the bus, shouts, saying he thinks he has been hit in the shin. I am lying next to Tilan. He groans in pain as a bullet hits him in the back of his thigh. As I turn my head to look at him, I feel something whiz past my ear and a bullet thuds into the side of the seat, the exact spot where my head had been a few seconds earlier. I feel something hit my shoulder and it goes numb. I know I had been hit, but I was just relieved and praying I was not going to be hit in the head. Tarang Paranavitan, on his debut tour, is also next to me. He stands up, bullets flying all around him, shouting, "Are you being hit?" as he holds his blood-soaked chest. He collapsed into his seat, apparently unconscious. I see him. I think, oh my God, you were out first ball, run out the next innings, and now you have been shot. What a terrible first tour. It is strange how clear your thinking is. I did not see my life flash by. There was no insane panic. There was absolute clarity and awareness of what was happening at that moment. I hear the bus roar into life and start to move. Dishan is screaming at the driver. Drive, drive. We speed up, swerve, and are finally inside the safety of stadium. There is a rush to get off the bus. Taranga Paranavitana stands up. He is still bleeding and has a bullet lodged lightly in his sternum. The body of the bus tempering its velocity enough to be stopped by the bond. Tilani is helped off the bus. In the dressing room, there is a mixture of emotions, anger, relief, joy. Players and coaching staff are being examined by paramedics. Thilan and Parnavitan are taken by ambulance to the hospital. We all sit in the dressing room and talked about what happened. Within minutes, there is laughter. Jokes have started to flow. We have for the first time been a target of violence we had survived. We all realized that what some of our fellow Sri Lankans experience every day for nearly 30 years. There was new respect and awe for their courage and selflessness. It's notable how quickly we get over that attack on us. Although we were physically injured, mentally we held strong. A few hours after the attack, we were airlifted to the Lahore Air Force Base. Ajanta Mendis, his head swathed in bandages after multiple shrapnel wounds, suggests a game of poker. Thilan has been brought back sedated, fully conscious, to be with us, and we make jokes at him and he smiles back. We were shot at. Grenades were thrown at us. We were injured, and yet we were not cowed. We were not down and out. We are Sri Lankan. We thought to ourselves, and we are tough and we'll get through hardships and we'll overcome because our spirit is strong. This is what the world saw in our interviews immediately after the attack. We were calm, collected, and rational. Our emotions held true to our role as unofficial ambassadors. A few weeks after our arrival in Colombo, from Pakistan, I was driving about town and was stopped at a checkpoint. A soldier politely inquired as to my health after the attack. I said I was fine and added that what they as soldiers experience every day, we only experience for a few minutes, but managed to grab all the news headlines. That soldier looked me in the eye and replied, "It's okay if I die because it's my job and I am ready for it. But you are a hero. If you were to die, it would be a great loss for our country." I was taken aback. How can this man value his life less than mine? His sincerity was overwhelming. I felt humbled. This is the passion that cricket and cricketers evoke in Sri Lankans. This is the love that I strive every day of my career to be worthy of. Now that is our first reading. Now we are going to read it again while discussing the subject matter. Now we know the story of this speech, the summary. It is about a terrorist attack on the Sri Lankan cricket team led by Kumar Sangakkara. Now, in this speech, Kumar Sangakkara depicts how this terrorist attack comes upon their bus and how they get injured, and also their feelings, their thoughts, attitudes towards war, violence in Sri Lanka and outside Sri Lanka. Right. That is the summary of this speech. Okay. Now this part. This is the first part of our speech. We are going to divide the speech into pieces, various parts, for easy understanding and easy discussion. අපි මේ ස්පීච් එක කොටස් කීපයකට බෙදාගමු. මේ අධ්‍යයනයේ පහසු සඳහා. This is the first part. මේක තමයි පළවෙනි කොටස. Therefore, draw a line here. Experience with which I could draw parallels. Draw a line. That is the end of first part of your speech. First part. Right? Did you understand what I said? Now this highlighted part is the first part. අපි ඒක කොටස් වලට වෙන් කරගන්නේ. කුමා සංගක්කාර එහෙම වෙන් කරේ නේ. දැන් අපි මේක අධ්‍යයනය කරන්න යන්නේ. ඒතකොට අපි මේක පහසු ක්‍රමයක් හදාගන්න ඕනේ මේක ස්ටඩි කරන්න. right. මොකද මේ වැදගත් සිදුවීම් තියෙන එක කොටසක් අල්ලලා අපි ඒක එක කොටසක් විදිහට වෙන් කරගන්න. ඒතකොට අපිට ඒ ටික ස්ටඩි කරන්න ලේසි. ඊට පස්සේ ඊළඟ කොටස. right. එහෙනම් මෙතනින් දැන් ඉරක් ගහලා වෙන් කරගන්න පොතේ. පොත තියෙන අය නැති අය ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ හැමෝම ළඟ ඇති පොත print කරගෙන. Okay. Now let's discuss it. The first part to get at the meaning and what Kumar Sangakkara speaks about. Now, first paragraph. I was fortunate that during my life, now he means during my life in Sri Lanka. Fortunate means lucky. I was lucky because during my life in Sri Lanka, I never experienced violence. I never experienced, I never saw, or I never encountered. Experience means met or encountered violence. Violence means war. War in Sri Lanka. Lanka තිබුණු යුද්ධය. Now Sangakkara says he never experienced war. Violence related to war in Sri Lanka firsthand. Because Sangakkara lived in Colombo, war and violence was in the north and the east of Sri Lanka, not in Colombo. In Colombo, there were bomb explosions here and there, but people lived very normal life in Colombo. Underline this part. Very important. Why? There have been so many bomb explosions over the years. Comments දාගන්න පැන්සලක් අරගෙන by the side of the story. Bomb explosions. Now Sangakkara refers to bomb explosions in Colombo. In Colombo, there were bomb explosions done by the terrorists. Over the years means 30 years. This war continued 30 years. මේ යුද්ධය අවුරුදු 30කට ආසන්න කාලයක් තිබුණා. Now Sangakkara refers to that time. During those 30 years, there were bomb explosions in Colombo. But I was never in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, what is this? Sanghakara says, he was never in the wrong place at the wrong time. What are these wrong places? What are these wrong times? I was never in the wrong place. Now, the wrong place means the public places where terrorists exploded bombs. ඒ කාලේ යුද්ධ කාලෙදී මේ බෝම්බ පුපුරවපු ස්ථාන, public places, පොදු ස්ථාන. What are the public places? Railway stations, bus stations, marketplaces, the city center. They are the public places. Sanghakara says he protected his time. How? By not visiting the public places. Now, Sanghakara never went to bus stations or railway stations. He used his own car, vehicles, or he never goes to large gatherings because he knows there could be a bomb. Oh, I am afraid of it. I cannot get killed. This is his method of protecting his life. He has been very selfish, soft-hearted character because he is afraid of these bomb blasts. Not very tough, not very strong-hearted. At the wrong time. Public places at the wrong time. What is this wrong time? Wrong time indirectly refers to the peak hours of the day. ඔය බෝම්බ පුපුරවන්න යොදාගත්ත මේ දවසේ අවස්ථාවන් තියෙනවා. දැන් මිනිස්සු වැඩිපුර ගැවසෙන දවසේ මේ ඒ කාලයන් තුල තමයි අපි පිපුරුවේ. විශේෂයෙන්ම හැන්දෑවට, දවල්ට, උදේට. Now, the wrong time means the peak hours of the day, like morning, afternoon, and evening. Because during this time period, people gather at the railway stations to go to work and to return home. People gather in the city centers to do some shoppings in the afternoon during their lunchtime. Terrorists used these moments of the day to explode bombs. Now, Sanghakara's technique was never to visit these public places during these times of the day. He does not go to railway station in the morning, afternoon, or evening because he thinks there could be a bomb. He does not go to the city center in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening because there could be a bomb. That is why he says, during 30 years, I followed this method. Therefore, I never experienced any violence. To a certain extent, his method has been successful. Method has been successful. Okay. Then second paragraph. In Colombo, now his village, town, city, where he lives, Colombo. Sanghakara is a man of Colombo. Apart from these occasional bombs, apart from bombs exploded time to time, life was relatively normal. Life was relatively normal. We enjoyed a normal life in Colombo. Sangakkara says, normal life. What is the normal life? You go to school, you go to tuition classes, you go to work. Sometimes you play, sometimes you attend parties. Normal life. Underline, people had the luxury of being physically detached from the war. Underline. Children went to school, people went to work. I played my cricket. You see, people had the luxury. Luxury means comfort, happiness. People had the happiness of or safety, being physically detached. Detached means separated, not connected. Now people are happy, satisfied, because they are far away from the war. Because war is in the north and the east. Colombo is in the western province. There is a great distance. This distance make them safe, feel safe. දුර නිසා මේගොල්ලෝ හිතන අපි ආරක්ෂිතයි. People enjoyed that safety, feeling of safety. Therefore, life was normal. Children went to school, Colombo children went to school. But what happened to the children of the war zone? Children of the war zone never had schools. But Colombo children went to school. We experienced it. Sometimes our schools are closed in the war zone, but Colombo school functions. They are open. People went to work. Colombo people went to work, but people of the war zone, they never had work or work. They never had work. I played my cricket. I played my cricket. What is the idea? I enjoyed my cricket. But Colombo, people, especially young men and women, they enjoy their life. But young men and women of the war zone, they never had enjoyable life because they had to fight with the terrorists. Now, in this way, Sangakkara presents a contrastive picture of the war zone and the non-war zone, Colombo. In other parts of the country, though, other parts means the war zone, people were putting their lives in harm's way. In harm's way means in dangerous way. In other parts or in the war zone, people's lives are in danger every day. Every day, not one day, every day. Why? People were putting their lives in danger every day, not one day. Why? In the defense, protecting their motherland, country, or just trying to live, survive means live. the geographical circumstance, this land situations or geographical situations, because they have no other place to go. That is their homeland. That is their village. They cannot leave that village. They are limited, confined to that village. That made them inhabit. Inhabit means live. That made them live a war zone. War zone. Underline, for them avoiding bullet shells, mines and grenades. Bullet shells, mines and grenades. What are these things? They are weapons, killing weapons. The people of the war zone avoiding getting away from these killing weapons was imperative, essential for life, survival. This was an experience that I could not relate to. I cannot speak about this experience because I have no knowledge of this war. I have never experienced these bullets, shells, and mines, grenades. But I had a sympathy, sorrow, and compassion, love for them, but had no real experience. Now, Sangha honestly mentions, I never had real experience about this war and people suffering. Therefore, I could not draw parallels. I cannot draw similar situations because I have no experience. Right. Now, that is the end of the discussion on part one of the speech. Part one of the speech.